Hello, thank you for joining today's webinar, Accurate, Actionable, Affordable Imagery in the Delaware Basin, put on by Eagleview. Our speakers are Chris Hauser, Enterprise Sales Consultant in the energy business at Eagleview, and David Chalky Pedersen, Director of Imagery Strategy at Eagleview.
Let's dive into the challenges that operators are facing today using satellite imagery and what Eagleview is doing to help you. So satellite imagery has long been used primarily due to its price point, but that does not come without a cost. When companies spend less on satellite imagery, they also receive less when it comes to the accuracy and resolution of the imagery that they're purchasing. This is making it harder to identify assets like holding tanks or separator tanks. It makes it harder to identify where power poles are in the area, or determining how far you might have to run a power line to get power to the well pad. It makes it difficult to trace flow lines and identify smaller assets such as a generator that may be out of the site. What it's doing, it's making your job harder to do remote analysis. But what does all this really mean in the long run? All these hurdles add up to lost time and project delays, which equate to lost revenue. For example, it means the next time someone drives all the way out to the site to perform maintenance, they get out there and find out there's 2 additional tanks that they didn't know about and had not planned for, and now have to make a second trip out. This all results in higher operating expenses and lost revenue. But what if this didn't have to be the case? What if you could be better prepared? What if you had better visibility without spending any more than you are today? And so with that, I want to hand this over to Chalky, and Chalky's going to go through Eagleview's image quality and accuracy with the products that we have today.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris, and welcome everybody. In the next few slides, I'd just like to show you how Eagleview's continued advancements in the resolution and imagery quality that we can provide can really address and sometimes alleviate and mitigate many of the issues that customers experience, like the ones that Chris just highlighted. So let's start. If we look at satellite imagery that many of our customers would be familiar with, the problems that we're trying to solve is determine what and how many assets might be at a particular location. So for instance, the question Chris asked earlier was how many tanks are on this site, or what sort of activity might be occurring. If we look at the resolution of satellite imagery, it can be very hard for the untrained eye to discern what is there. Reliance on the knowledge of the various assets, as well as using things like shadows and object recognition, they're all sort of required to extract meaningful information. With Eagleview's imagery, the ability to identify these assets, it's no longer a subjective matter. Our high resolution imagery reduces the need for interpretation at these locations. All the assets are clearly identifiable within the image, and you can not only count the number of tanks, as can be seen in this image, you can also identify how the various infrastructure on the pad relates to those tanks. This resolution enables the user to accurately see what's on the ground and can potentially mitigate an expensive trip to the field or multiple trips to the field. In the other example, satellite imagery was used to define a particular location. And here, while we understand it can be fast and you can get it delivered on a regular basis, it can also have artifacts and issues that prohibit you from really understanding the location that you're working in. Eagleview's imagery is georeferenced, and it's processed using a patented method. Our imagery QA and QC ensures that glitches and blurs of this degree do not exist in providing clear and unobstructed views of a site. And moreover, the resolution that Eagleview provides eliminates any guesswork that you might have previously done when identifying very small things, such as where is the power source coming in to this location. In this particular example, not only can we see where the site has access to adequate power, but we can also see potential issues that may occur from having something like power lines running through the site, such as the proximity of wires to equipment. In this last example, before I move to a demonstration, we can see that the smaller assets can become blurry, ill-defined, and sometimes not even recognizable. We know that assets out there on a site can come in all shapes and sizes, and the ability to see these clearly and how they interact is really important. And here you'll see that the different elements of the imagery is quite clear and it's very crisp. As we zoom in, understanding where things like flow lines are in relation to cabling on the ground could be very, very important. The ramifications of placing these in the wrong spot or even understanding where they are could have significant impact on the site.
In mid-June, we finished capturing roughly 8,200 square miles of the Delaware Basin. You can see here where we captured. We're offering this in 3-inch, 6-inch, and 9-inch resolutions. Remember, this is the same price point that most satellite companies are offering 1 meter resolution. But here's how it works. Let us know where your area of interest is. You can send us a shapefile, or we can work with you to figure this out. Pick which resolution you'd like the imagery in, whether that's 3-inch, 6-inch, or 9-inch, and then decide how you'd like this delivered. So really it comes down to just pick your resolution, pick your delivery, and then when it comes to frequency, while we did finish capturing this latest edition in June, which is available now, we're currently working on the next edition, which will be ready in mid-September. This program, we're going to capture this twice a year going forward. So we'll have imagery available every September and every March as a data refresh. And so if you want imagery each September, we can do that. If you want to do it every September and every March, we can do that as well.
For more information on seeing the Permian Basin in high resolution, please contact us at permiandata@eagleview.com. Thank you.